Hello everybody. Welcome to the video for check-in 2019-2020. So of course, when you arrive at the school, you want to arrive early enough to make sure that you can check in with the principal, set up the room, get your bookmarks and posters all counted out, and figure out how you're going to land and be grounded for your day. So this video is meant to give you just a little overview of the script, some of the key components, and some of the key goals. So one key goal for this check-in script is to recognize that our body, well, it gets hot, it gets cold, it gets tingly when we have feelings. Now, some of us might not always be able to feel that, but part of this, well, the intention for this workshop is to start to cultivate some awareness around that. And of course, we're going to do that in some fun, creative ways. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait, why is the body important? And some of you are probably like, duh, I know why the body's important. Well, we're actually taking a unique spin on check-in by also thinking about, wait, when our body feels something, then maybe it's also time to check in. So, I'll give you a little rundown. We start with a rapport section. You do your welcome, bring them in, and rapport is a game called Find That Feelings. What's it called? So to play Find That Feelings, I'm actually going to need a volunteer, a very brave volunteer, to come up from the crowd. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. What's your name? Okay, so you have a very special task. Your job is to turn around so you can't see everybody. Oh, okay, awesome. So audience, I'm going to pick a feeling from our feelings and needs board, and your job is when it turns back around, you're going to act it out on your face without making any sound. On your body, but we're not going to stand up, So you're going to act it out with your face and your body, and we're going to see if they can guess which feeling it is. Okay, let's go. So, you're going to pick a couple contestants, maybe even get a teacher. And for a fun twist on the game, for the last person, you can bring them up, have them act out the feeling, and see if the entire crowd can actually try to guess. And from rapport, of course, we move into enrolling. So, after rapport, we want to get at, well, how many of you thought it was actually kind of hard to guess the feelings? Like, turn to the person next to you and say, feelings can look different. So that's the basic part of rapport. Then we're going to move into the E, enrolling. So, in this part, we really want to normalize that life is full of feelings. Like, how many of you have actually ever felt so mad that you felt like your head was just going to explode? Raise your hand if you've ever felt so sad that your throat felt like it was closing up, or you start to feel actually kind of cold and kind of tired. Wow. How many of you, well, actually, wait a second. How many of you have ever seen somebody and you felt like you could tell that they were having a feeling? Wow. That's a lot of people in here. Turn to the person next to you and say, life is full of feelings. Then we're going to get a drum roll. We're going to look up at our characters. Whoa, wait. How many of you think that some of my friends up here might be having some feelings? Does anybody have a guess of what some people might be feeling? Take some guesses. Wow. There's a lot of feelings. Everybody say, there's a lot of feelings. And then we'll take another drum roll. Oh, whoa. This is actually one of my friends, Jamil, and he's been having a lot of feelings. And today, Jamil is actually going to be a special contestant on a game we're all going to play together. Turn to the person next to you and say, it's the game of life. It's the game of what? It's the game of life. And the game of life works a very special way. I brought with me today an important tool. This will be your spinner. It's a spinner, and it's filled with what? Numbers. It's got a lot of numbers. And Jamil, well, depending on the number we get, his day might change. And, oh wait, I almost forgot to tell you. His day can change in a couple ways. One way that his day can change is called a buzz. It's called a what? And if Jamil gets a buzz, we're all going to go like this. Everybody take your hands like this. Everybody say buzz, and shake your body. All right, let's try it together. Buzz. Wait. Another way that Jamil's day can change is called the cheer. Everybody take your hands like this. We're going to do a silent cheer. All right, let's try again. Everybody do one and say, oh yeah. So those are the two ways that his day can change. And it all depends on what number he gets in the game of, wait, it's called the game of what? The game of life. So let's see what happens to Jamil. Anybody want to take a spin? Now, at this point, there's a couple options. If you feel comfortable, you have some rapport at the school, you can bring up a contestant, have them take a spin, and then go on with your allegory. If you're feeling like maybe that might be too much for the room, you can walk out into the crowd, have a student spin, and then walk back up to the front. Now, this will be important because after you explain Jamil's stories, you also want to have a student come up or even have the audience make the face of his feeling. So it will look a little bit like this. After you explain your buzzes and your cheers and the game of life with the spinner, we'll get into telling Jamil's story. So who wants to take the first spin? Oh no. You got an 8. Everybody take your hands like this. Everybody say, drum roll please. So Jamil woke up in the morning and he was late. His parents were actually yelling at him, Jamil, hurry up, get out there, you're gonna make us late again. He was like, oh gosh, sir. He put on all his clothes, he ran out and, whoa, he lost some of his papers when he was running out the door, but he ran out, he had to get to school. He got to school and he was late. And Jamil, his body, it actually started to feel like it was actually buzzing. And Jamil, he got to class and you could still feel the buzzing and he was still, he's kind of panicked. And right when he sat down in class, his teacher said, Jamil, do you have your homework? And Jamil said, oh yeah. And he looked in his bag and didn't have his homework. His homework fell out on his way to school. And the buzzing feeling actually started to get even bigger. Oh, wait a second. How do you think Jamil might be feeling? Maybe afraid? Maybe, no, maybe he is afraid. Maybe that's why his body's buzzing. How many of you have ever felt like your body was kind of buzzing when you had a feeling before? Well, oh wait, looks like it's time for another spin. Who would like to come up and show us or give us another spin? Okay, boom. Oh, you got a 4. Everybody say, yeah! So, Jamil finally got to do something he loved in his day. After he forgot his homework, they had silent reading time. Jamil sat down and he read one of his favorite books. And the buzzy feeling even got a little bit smaller. Looks like Jamil's day is turning around. Let's see what happens next. So you continue on with the allegory, going through Jamil's day, and we really want to emphasize what's happening to his body. When he's getting hot, starting to get angry, and we want to normalize that in the group and ask, well, how many of you have actually ever felt kind of hot when you got angry? How many of you have ever felt cold? And we're starting to normalize this so that when we move into the balloon, we can presence those sensations as a way to help us to remember when to check in. So, after Jamil and after the allegory, we move in to process. Now, for process, we'll get through Jamil's story, and then we'll talk about, well, wait, Jamil had a lot of buzzes today. What kind of things did he get buzzed from? Yeah, what kind of feelings did he get when he was buzzed? Yeah, when he got buzzed from the things that happened in his day, when his friends yelled at him, all those buzzes, they brought up a lot of feelings. He felt mad, felt sad, felt frustrated, he felt scared in the morning. And wait, did all those feelings, did they just disappear? No, wait a second. When we all have feelings, do they just disappear? Well, wait, what happens to the feelings? Turn to the person next to you and say, what happens to the feelings? Well, if you've had Soul Shop before, you probably know about this spot where our feelings go. So, if you're at a school that's returning, this is a great chance to give the students the opportunity to explain the balloon, explain how it works. If you're at a new school, you want to introduce, oh, at Soul Shop there's actually this spot that we know about that everybody has where we keep our feelings. It's called our balloon. It's called our what? And we can actually find our balloon. Everybody take your hands, put them in front. Everybody look down and say, that's my balloon. Turn to the person next to you and say, you have a balloon too. Oh wait, look, your teachers even have balloons. Turn to your teacher and say, you have a balloon too? Wait, even Mr. James has a balloon. Everybody say, what? And our balloons work like this. Well, whenever we get a feeling, especially a kind of hard feeling, our balloons start to grow. Look, if we have a feeling that's not a very hard feeling, our balloons actually might stay small. Like, wait, is happy, is that a really hard feeling? Well, and usually happy isn't a very hard feeling, so our balloons stay really small. Well, wait, what about afraid? Is that kind of a hard feeling? Yeah. Well, wait, when a hard feeling goes in our balloon, it goes psh. Let's all try it together. Psh. It gets even bigger. And wait, what if we get an afraid feeling, a furious feeling, and an upset feeling? Do you think the balloon gets bigger or smaller? It gets bigger. It goes psh. It gets even bigger. And well, sometimes our balloons, they can get so full that the feelings inside start to take control. Turn to the person next to you and say, uh-oh. Turn to Mr. James and say, what happens? Okay. I bet that some of you know what happens when people get really angry, they get really mad. What happens with their feelings? How do they come out sometimes? Yeah, well, I mean, how many of you have ever seen someone that's mad and they did yell at somebody? Wait, what about Jamil? Jamil had a mad feeling in his balloon. And his friends were all yelling at him. How many of you remember what did Jamil do in the story? He yelled at his friends, you're not in charge of me, you're not the boss of me. Whoa, Jamil's feelings were taking control. He was doing something called leaking. Turn to the person next to you and say, he's leaking. Turn to Mr. James and say, wait, what's leaking? Leaking is when our balloons, well, they get so full with feelings that the feelings come out in a way that, well, sometimes we do things that, well, they might hurt another person's feelings. They could even hurt somebody physically. Or sometimes people even leak their balloons on themselves and they say mean things to themselves. How many of you have ever seen somebody leak their balloon and push another person? How many of you have ever seen somebody leak their balloon and say, stop, leave me alone, just go away from me, and yell at somebody else? Oh, wait, raise your hand if you've even seen leaking happen at school. Like, what kind of leaking have you seen happen at school? What are some examples? And please don't use anybody's name. But what are some examples? What do you see happen at school when people's feelings take control and their balloons leak? Take some examples. Well, I actually brought this special picture. It's a picture of a full balloon that's getting ready to leak. Drum roll, please. Whoa. Does that balloon look like it's happy? No, it's filled with feelings. Feelings even kind of look like fire. Why do you think the feeling would look like fire? Wait, some of it even looks like ice. Why do you think the feeling could look like ice? And here we're going to try to presence feelings in the body. So, if there's no answer, I don't know why it'd be fire. Oh, wait, how many of you have ever felt so mad that your hands started to get hot? How many of you ever felt so sad? Wait, that even happened to Jamil. How many of you ever even felt so sad that maybe it felt like your throat was going to close up? Or, wait, like Jamil in the morning. How many of you ever felt kind of like electricity was buzzing in your body when you had a feeling? Well, this balloon is full of electricity and fire and coldness. It's filled with feelings. Well, wait a second. Do those feelings, do they have to be in control? Turn to the person next to you and say, I can be in control. Turn to Mr. James and say, I'm in control. But wait. To be in control, first, we have to find the feeling. Turn to your teacher and say, we gotta find the feeling. Everybody turn to Mr. James, take one hand like this, put it on your heart, take the other hand, put it on your belly. Everybody say, it's time to check in. Drum roll, please. So the check-in is a special trick to help us find the what? Find the feeling. And the check-in is actually kind of like a radar. This is a picture of a radar. Raise your hand if you know what a radar is. Raise your hand if you don't know what a radar is. Awesome. Oh gosh. So a radar is something that scans and looks for things. It tries to find them, sometimes on a map, and we could even find things in our body. And the check-in is like a radar. It can find hot, fiery feelings. What would be a hot, fiery feeling that would make someone feel hot? Mad, sad, lonely? Yes. Wait, what about a cold feeling? What feeling might make people feel cold? Maybe sad, maybe lonely? What about electric and buzzing? What kind of feeling might make someone feel that? Oh, the check-in is our radar. So we can find the what? Find the feeling. Everybody take one hand, put it on your heart, take your other hand, put it on your belly, take a big breath. Take another big breath. Now, everybody use your mind and your brain to feel your body. See if you feel hot or cold. Maybe see if you feel any buzzing. Okay. Now take another breath. Another one. And everybody use your mind to notice how you're feeling. Whoa, I actually noticed that I actually have a feeling inside my balloon. Hey, can I tell you all what it is? Well, we're just checking in, and I noticed that I felt kind of nervous, and my body was feeling kind of tight, almost like a little bit of electricity. I noticed I had a feeling in my balloon. Should I let that feeling be in control? Wait, how many of you noticed that you had a feeling inside of your balloon too? What kind of feelings did you notice that you had? Wait, could you feel it in your body? Was it hot or cold? Or wait, maybe you just couldn't feel it. That's okay too. So we're going to continue with the process all the way through. And eventually, after we talk about checking in, you say, wait, after you check in, when we find the feeling, when we find the what? When we find the feeling, does it just disappear? We actually have to do something really special to be able to get the feeling out of our balloon. Turn to the person next to you and say, we gotta empty. Turn to Mr. James and say, how do we do that? Now, of course, if the school is returning, and I ask them about emptying, because they'll already have an idea about this. So if the school doesn't know about emptying, then we'll go ahead and explain and make sure to reach into their world about what emptying is. So emptying is actually something that we do that helps us have fun or makes us feel happy. Like, oh wait, in the story, Jamil, he was in the game of life, he actually had some cheers. And, well, after he lost his homework, how many of you remember, what did he do that made him feel happy? He was reading. And how many of you like reading? For Jamil, reading, something actually helps him feel calm and feel really happy. It helps him empty out his balloon. Oh wait, what other things can people do to empty their balloon? Take some examples. If it's younger grades, give them some examples. Reading, coloring, drawing, singing. Now, after we go through the examples, we're going to have a pair share. So everybody think of one thing you really like to do to empty your balloon at school. Now, some of you might like to have some special things you do at home, but since we're at school, let's think about what's one thing you really like to do to empty your balloon at school. And of course, we're going to go through those examples. If some people do say video games and things from home, we can look at that a couple ways of, well, when you play video games, that's awesome. How many of you feel happy when you play video games? How many of you sometimes you get frustrated? Okay, so what do you do even after you're frustrated? And we always want to redirect it back to school. Obviously, what are we going to do to empty at school? Now, from here, with the older grades, we're going to transition to, is it always easy to remember to empty? Okay, how many of you get feelings? Sometimes it's hard to remember. How many of you actually, when we checked in, had a feeling? And then going into the chair of help. So you'll lead them in whichever way you choose to do into the chair of help, making sure that when we do the chair of help, we also keep it light enough and in a space of things that we can manage in the room, and allowing people to share their feelings without always trying to dig too deep, and making sure that they can feel supported at school. So being sure to get allies, clap for the allies, and be sure that the person in the chair is able to actually verbalize to the allies what they would like for them to do to feel supported, and that the allies can actually do that. And also be sure to give them a challenge to start today. Whatever the agreement is, if it's play with somebody, start today. So we're going to go through the chair of help, and after the chair of help, we really want a presence, how supportive of a school it is. Now, if this isn't a grade that you're going to do the chair of help with, you might transition out of emptying with, wait, how many of you wish that there was a really cool spot to empty your balloon at school? Okay, how many of you wish that you had some chance to empty your balloon at school? So we're going to transition into school support and what that looks like. So we're going to review what happened with Jamil. You can also presence, wait, don't you think it'd be cool if Jamil had a spot where he could ask his teacher and he could just like go read? And we're going to get into, well wait, when you have feelings at school, how many of you wish you had a spot where you could go empty your balloon? Well, it's time for a challenge. Turn the person next to you say, oh yeah, challenge. And this is where we're going to introduce the project. And this Project Empty. And Project Empty will work in a way where there's going to be some challenges throughout the year. And those challenges will all be related in each script. This month's challenge, everybody say, oh yeah, challenge time, is for you to build a special spot in every classroom where you can empty your balloon. It's called the Peace Corner. It's called the what? Now, on your bookmark, there's actually something really special. Oh wait, this is a new school. You didn't even know you get bookmarks. At Soul Shop, every time we have an assembly, we get a what? A bookmark. And on this bookmark, there's actually something really special. Now for facilitators, this is something we're going to really presence with 4th and 5th graders. There's a special code on the back. And you can bring this home and have your parents actually scan it on their phone. And it's going to show you another secret to Project Empty. Now, teachers, you actually might have a way to even scan this and show your students the video in class. Oh, I gave away the secret. Well, there's more. You'll just have to find out. So you'll have a chance to scan this code, and for everybody in Project Empty, soul shoppers all around the world, everybody's going to be building a Peace Corner, a special spot where you can go empty your balloon. Now, this school is amazing. And wait, how many of you in here would actually help somebody empty their balloon if they needed some help? Well, I know we saw that earlier. It's so awesome. How many of you, even if you saw maybe one of your friends and maybe their body was hot or cold or electric and they needed to check in, how many of you would check in with your friend and ask them if they're okay? Make sure they're okay. What an amazing school. So, for facilitators, this is where we're going to move into acknowledging the school and really doing an out-the-door challenge, like remembering, hey, you can be in control. When your balloon gets full, it's time to check in. Turn to the person next to you, say, we gotta find the feeling. Notice if your body is hot or cold, or if it feels like electricity or even buzzing. And check in. Right? When we check in, of course the feeling doesn't disappear. Turn to your teacher, say, we gotta empty. Turn to Mr. James, say, we got this. So, wait, everybody look at the door. As soon as you go out the door, there might be more feelings that come up. If they come up, it's time to do what? And if we find a feeling, we gotta empty. And I know you all can do it. And for your teachers, they actually have access to the Project Empty Challenge. And next time I come back, it'll be awesome to hear about your Peace Corners. So you can go into acknowledgement, review, do your out the door, and that's it. Check-in script, 1920.